with another potential reference to CM Punk on Raw and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Revealing a name that she pitched for herself in WWE, Gigi Dolin said on Drinks with Johnny, "I'm trying to remember what other first names did I come up with for my WWE run. I know that I wanted the name Gigi Eileen was one that I liked, but that one didn't pass because of Eileen Wuornos. They were like, no, we're not doing that. That's a serial killer. You can't do that. We have Joe Gacy, which is in the same ballpark, but I don't know. I get it. They're probably like, we already have Joe Gacy coming in around the same time as me, and it was like, if I came in with another serial killer name, it was probably just going to be a little overkill, maybe. I don't know." Giving a status update on Bobby Roode in WWE, Ringside News wrote that Bobby Roode's last WWE match was at a house show at the Amarillo Civic Center in Amarillo, Texas on June 25th, 2022. Omos beat him in that singles match, and fans haven't seen him wrestle since. He needed neck surgery, but he found a new place in WWE in the process. Ringside News reached out to inquire about Bobby Roode's current status. "We have been able to confirm that he is a producer now, and he is no longer an active competitor." Speaking of Bobby Roode, Johnny Gargano took to X to celebrate DIY reuniting on Raw with a Glorious bomb video. While it was thought that WWE content would be leaving Hulu, PW Insider reported that all expiration dates on WWE content have disappeared on Hulu. This would obviously imply that the two sides have reached an agreement to keep next day access on the platform, keeping their 11-year relationship intact. Nothing has been officially announced by either side. Noting the lack of plans in WWE for Logan Paul, it was said that Ringside News reached out to inquire about WWE's current booking direction for Crown Jewel. They usually bring a huge amount of star power to those Saudi Arabian events because the company is making a truckload of cash on the deal. Logan Paul has a fight against Dylan Dennis on October 14th in Manchester's AO Arena. WWE Crown Jewel is November 4th, and the Maverick may be physically ready to rumble, but he's not in WWE's plan for the event. Ringside News was told by a tenured member of the WWE team that Logan Paul is not going to Saudi Arabia for WWE Crown Jewel. Logan Paul received a tremendous reception in Saudi Arabia when he faced Roman Reigns, and he has a lot of fans there. That being said, the Maverick will sit this event out. Speaking about the status of Triple H as the head of creative in WWE, Mike Johnson said this for PW Insider Elite. There is a belief within the company that Triple H has been basically knighted by Endeavor, and he's the one who is driving 99.9% of the creative going forward, not Vince McMahon. I feel like there will be a tug of war, and sometimes Vince will give his thoughts, and they'll go with what Vince wants. But I'm told that week to week in the weeds, they are going with what Triple H wants. With Jon Moxley suffering an injury in AEW, it seems he was not cleared in time to compete for a recent indie event, as Ringside News wrote. Jon Moxley was riding a wave of momentum when he won the AEW International title. Then he lost it suddenly as Phoenix pinned him in impromptu fashion following Moxley's concussion at Dynamite Grand Slam on September 20th. It appears that Moxley isn't 100% yet. Pro wrestling fans thought it was interesting that Jon Moxley was booked for a Pro Wrestling Revolver event in spite of his injury hiatus. He has not received medical clearance to return to AEW as far as we know, because he must pass certain protocols for that to happen. Jon Moxley couldn't participate in a Wrestling Revolver match on Sunday night, where he was scheduled to compete against Gringo Loco in a lucha street fight. It appears that he still has some time left before he is clear to compete. At the Revolver Redemption event in Dayton, Ohio, former WWE wrestler Rich Swann stepped in as a replacement for the top AEW star. Moxley did make an appearance to inform the audience that medical professionals had advised against him wrestling on the show. Ultimately, Loco emerged victorious against Rich Swann in the match. Following the bout, Gringo Loco accused Moxley of being unwilling to face him, hinting at a potential future matchup between them. With NXT and AEW Dynamite set to go head-to-head tonight, Adam Copeland, who will be having his first AEW match, said this about the situation on the Masked Man show. "Who cares? I'm only this guy, I'm only this guy. This is awesome. How can you not enjoy the fact that both shows are trying to load up and trying to put the best show on imaginable? That's all I really care about. I'll try to make sure that my part of the show is all killer, no filler. That's my only job. I'm sure both will get watched when it's all said and done with DVR and however else it gets computed, since everything with ratings is so antiquated. It's fun. I remember flipping back and forth between Nitro and Raw. That's kind of what this is. I don't see that as a bad thing at all. I think it's great. The performers themselves, there is none of this weird tribalism. Within any industry, sure, there is competition, but I'm happy for those guys and they're happy for us. When there are choices and there is another company that can push the other company, that's when you get the best stuff." Touching on getting back in the ring despite having his retirement bout last year, the Nature Boy Ric Flair told Chris Van Vliet, "I want to wrestle again right now. Isn't it crazy? I feel like because Ricky Morton, the guy that I should have chosen for my last match, would have been great. Ricky Morton is still wrestling. You know what the best thing for me about it was? Is I forced myself to really get in shape. I've heard this from guys over the years, and when they were older, I was like in my prime. The older guys would say, 'Hey man, I'm tired of working out.' And there gets a time when you just get bored working out. You don't have a goal. I mean, they gave me a goal and I just attacked it. I didn't stop drinking or anything, but I was training, literally training 3 hours a day, 5 days a week in the ring, or I was doing the sled, the ropes. Yeah, I got my bench press up for 2 1/4. I mean, so from being dead to all that was pretty cool." For a reason as to why Shinsuke Nakamura performed CM Punk's finishing move, the Go to Sleep, on Raw, it was noted that Ringside News reached out to a tenured member of creative to ask about this apparent CM Punk reference during WWE Raw. "We were told that Shinsuke Nakamura is a heel now, and that could have played a big part in things. It was said to us that maybe no one gives a how it's taken, and it's just letting Nakamura be a heel. This was not a sign that CM Punk is coming back to WWE. The origin of that move was also reiterated to us in our discussion. We were told the move is originally from Japan, and it was Kenta's move first, not CM Punk's. The inventor of the move, Kenta, reacted to this, writing, 'See you at Survivor Series, LOL.' Staying on this topic of CM Punk possibly coming back to WWE, Ringside News added, "A story circulated last week suggesting that CM Punk is interested in returning to WWE, and sources close to him have indicated ongoing discussions between the parties. While the story generated considerable attention, there is no definitive confirmation of his return. Reports of CM Punk wanting to make a WWE return are making the rounds. Plenty of fans are seeing clues, real or imaginary, on the company's television television shows that Punk will return. Fans who believe that are not hearing both sides of the story. Ringside News exclusively reported that CM Punk wants to create an impression of interest from WWE as he desires to make a comeback. He reached out to assess interest, although it has not been reciprocated thus far. After reaching out to reconfirm this situation, Ringside News was told that nothing has changed in this situation between CM Punk and WWE. There are no talks about his return to the company. There is no plan to use him, and he is not booked for Survivor Series in Chicago. Ringside News exclusively reported that WWE already has a War Games match booked for Survivor Series in Chicago on November 25th. It will have a star-studded card and plenty of reasons to sell out the All-State Arena, so the company really doesn't need CM Punk. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.